Well, g'day Harbour Youth, this is Tom Batty here, and this week we are looking at Hebrews chapter 4 verse 9 to 11, and it looks like you guys can see that, so I'll read it out. It says, "There remains then a Sabbath rest for the people of God, for anyone who enters God's rest also rests from his own work, just as God did. Let us therefore make every effort to enter that rest, so that no one will fall by following their example of disobedience." So, isn't it good that we have a Sabbath rest to look forward to? Like, this world is difficult to live in. There's a lot going on, but I think it's really difficult, especially to live in this world as a teenager. I remember in one sense, I felt like I was confident in school, and like I was a bit of a, like school was easy, but in a sense, it wasn't. Being a teenager was always hard, and I had a lot of different insecurities. One of the things that often plagued me was that I was afraid if any of the girls in particular would notice that I've got something funky going on with my eyes. So if you can see my eyes here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch my finger here, and if I move the finger over to this side, it's kind of normal, but then as soon as I go over there, do you see what's going on with this eye here? Right, it kind of goes up into the side of my head, and I can't really control that, and so up here normal, down here normal, but then it kind of just goes crazy. And so that meant that whenever I was in a conversation with somebody over on this side of me, if I was chatting to them, then my eye would go a little bit funny, and every now and again a girl would notice, and they'd say, "What's wrong with your eye, Tom?" And I'd be like, yeah, it's just what it is. And you feel that sense of being rejected, and like you're not good enough. It's difficult being a teenager. It's difficult having insecurities, and so that's why it's so fun that this life isn't all that there is. There is a Sabbath rest that we can look forward to. But this Sabbath rest isn't just for teenagers with funky eyes like me. The Sabbath rest is for God's people. And so that's why it's even more important that we have something to look forward to as Christians in this world. I remember being in, I think probably year 8 or year 9, the Christians in those days used to wear these little bands around their wrist that had like a WWJD letters on them. I don't know if they're still around or if you've heard of them, but it used to stand for "What would Jesus do?" And the idea was that it was a reminder every day of, in these kind of activities that I'm doing, how would Jesus respond? Anyway, one of the guys that I thought was pretty cool stole my WWJD band one day and scribbled out the J part of it and wrote in his favourite surfer's name. What would Ben Player do? I remember him writing, and then he used to show people about how cool his band was, and it was this sense that he was mocking me for following Jesus, and he was showing lots of other people. And so I remember feeling ashamed that I was a Christian, or like picked on or isolated, and it was a difficult experience, because being a teenager in this world is really difficult. But even more than that, being a Christian teenager in this life is incredibly hard. So what do? Well, we look forward to that hope that we have in Jesus. We know that we have a Sabbath rest to look forward to as the people of God. And so we've got to make every effort to enter that. And so I guess there's a couple of questions that leaves us with. The first question is, so how do I make every effort to enter into that Sabbath rest? What does making every effort to enter the Sabbath rest actually look like? And the other question is, to what extent are we actually in a Sabbath rest right now? Like, is being a Christian all about what's going to happen after we die? Or is there any sense that we actually have a Sabbath rest going on for us right now? Anyway, Harbour Youth, it's been fun. I'll catch you later.